From farm to fork. Have you ever wondered what it takes before those lovely mushrooms end up at your dinner table? Well, this week on She Means Business, we are featuring the farmer on fire. And she's telling us all about her journey in farming. That's Wangari Kuria, and she's taking us to her farm and telling us what it takes to make it in the business of farming. Look out for it on She Means Business. I am your host, Claire Munde.
We are fishing. We are fishing for plants that grow in water.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is called azolla.
All right.
Yes, it's used for chicken feeds.
Okay.
It is the fastest growing crop in the world. Just think of hyacinth. If you have a kara, you can also start at home.
Oh, wow.
It's an organic way of rearing your livestock.
Okay.
Yes.
And is it more cost effective? Tell us what
it's very cost effective because you come here, I sell you a kilo, you go start your own crop, and forever you can see that the seed is the plant, so it will continue reproducing. You can sell, you can help your friends, you can share. Yes, and it will continue reproducing. So every day we harvest around 2-3 kilograms, and in 2-3 days the pool is full again, so it grows very fast.
Wow, that's nice. So now you've talked about chicken farming, but you have quite a journey when it comes to farming. Farmer on fire.
Yes.
Now let's go back to the beginning.
Yes.
Tell us your journey. How did you get into farming in the first instance?
Yes.
Because you have not always been a farmer. You had the corporate side to it. So tell us, how did this farmer on fire come to be?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Farmer on Fire came to be. Have a seat.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how it started. The fire was not always there. We had to fan it. But everything in life is that as long as you're alive, you have a chance to remake your life, to change your identity, and that is what happened. I grew up in Nyandaro, as you know. There people are food, plenty of food. I grew up around farming, but then I didn't see farming as a career for myself. I saw it with my mom struggling there with subsistence farming. I didn't understand that she's saving us from family costs, that we would have had to go and buy that thing. I just saw her as doing a lot of work and very little to show for it. So I told my dad, Amy, I want to go to Nairobi, to campus. So I went into University of Nairobi, left the village, never looked back.
What?
Yes.
And what did you study?
I studied sociology, communication, and political science. A certificate I keep very well in my drawer. I ended up being of very little use.
We'll talk more about that and certificates, but so you studied, you graduated.
I graduated. I started looking for jobs. There were no jobs. You know, tamaking, application. Yani kazi yako, you're told, what do you do? You say,
you apply.
I am a serial
applier.
Najinaga tu kwa cyber. You can think the cyber is yours because you are there every day clocking in to try and make sure that you sent those applications. But then the job was not coming. So that is how I ended up starting to think, oh, what do I have in my hand? You know, even in the Bible, Moses was asked by God, what do you have in your hand? And he could have given a list of things. I'm a stammerer, I live in the desert, all those things. But he was like, I just have my staff. I have my stick. And God used that to bless him. So even when I realized, what do I have in my hand? I realized I'm from the village and I'm living in the city. And I'm realizing most people don't have access to house workers. So I helped ferry people from the village to come and get jobs in the city. What you call an agent.
Oh my goodness. Well, we fear those people.
Don't fear them. They do a very important role of rural-urban migration. Yes, obviously I didn't stay in that line for long. And that's when I started a cleaning company. So I would go clean offices. I didn't change it. I didn't leave it. I just changed it. You know, there's something called pivoting. What is the next thing? How can I become more efficient with what I have? So the same workers are the ones I used to turn into a cleaning company, and we would clean offices, commercial blocks, that kind of thing. It is at this point that someone who was in the real estate industry started an estate gated community. That time they were coming up in Kiambu Road. So they were like, hey, this girl, she looks like she's working, she's overworking. Let's give her an opportunity. Yeah. So when they called me, I actually thought they're going to ask me to outsource and clean the estate for them. But they were like, no, we want you to leave that and come and work. We employ you. Yeah. I was struggling. Obviously, you know, young businesses are struggling. Yeah. You know, it's a shell game. Yes. You're taking money here, you put here, you try to survive. Yeah. So obviously, I didn't tell them that. I had to show a straight face of negotiation. You know, I am losing future income, the potential of my company, you know, all that kizungu mingi, which is very necessary.
Yeah, I'm telling you sometimes, right?
There is a reason why those people want you. So show up and show up confidently and tell them my remuneration comes with this and because of this. Yeah. So always do a budget as a person. Don't go thinking, oh, how much? No, think, what do I need? I need to pay rent. I need to do this. And when you see that breakdown and you're like, in a month, I will need at least 30,000. So you have confidence of asking for 40,000. Yes. But if you're thinking, hey, what wakinipea 20, it's at least I had 0. Yeah. So
I think that's a very important point that you're putting out there. You go there with confidence. You need to put what are my needs. Yes. I need to also save. I need to then go confident.
Yes.
Not at you.
So they offered me the job. I was living in Italy. I had a rent of 2.5, but then I was like, hey, anyway. So even if they gave me 20, I was fine with it because I was just starting out. I was happy to finally get a desk job. Yeah. But I found my mentor on my way to go and deliver the CV and the remuneration request. Then he tore it up and said, no, let me show you. Yeah. He showed now my capacity, my nini, akarivambi your CV. Wow. Na akarudi akasema hapo asking 100,000. Yeah. You know, I was just shaking and I was just like, Emenda. Yes. But then apparently they read it and they were like, okay, we'll offer you 60. Will you take it? I was like, yes, I can work with that.
Work with it. But inside you're like,
we're dumping. Anyway, so I started. I moved to Thika Road. Life became better. And they saw my capacities as well. So when they started the construction company, I was also moved to become a project manager. Project manager is the person who manages everyone. Yeah. Even director, watchman, cleaner, everyone is calling you to what do we need to do. You're in a room discussing things to do with timelines, with construction companies, and they're all like, Wangari, we need suppliers of 10 lorries of sand tomorrow and 15,000 bags of cement. So in the middle, you are very busy, which was good for me. I was able to expand my capacities. Yeah. But then now, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta put a capping on interest rates for banks, for loaning of finances for banks. And because we used to do off-plan, you remember when off-plan was very popular. Now it's not as popular.
Okay, people are scared, but
they are scared. So we used to need a lot of money at once to do the construction, and then repayments from people would go into financing that loan. Yeah. But we used to get very high interest loans because we were high risk. According to the bank, they had profiled that real estate companies are high risk. They sometimes might not finish the project or nini. So they used to give us like 28, 30%. And we were like, it's okay, we'll still make money, let's do it. Okay. So when the president put a capping at 14%, that's how real estate industry was affected. And you can see so many companies went down at that time. So I found myself jobless. Then I remembered when you get an increase in your income, don't now, increase your lifestyle. No, think that this is going into savings, especially if you haven't started a family. It's the best time to save. Because once those kids come, and diapers and Gertrudes and cough syrup and house help, You know, you are even bringing a whole new person that you have to pay. You feed them.
Exactly.
You know, it blows up your budget.
Yes.
So the best time is when people are going to Vasha. Now you start to have those individual conversations with yourself. So I had bought this plot in Kitengela, and it was just lying. You know, you have mentors, and just to keep them quiet, to just buy it, but you have no interest in Ambiawa. I'm waiting for 10 years and then I will resell it. It became my saving grace. So I just moved here. I left Kiambu Road. The work was in Westlands. I moved here in the middle of nowhere, dusty, Hadi, Kajiado town.
This was what year?
This was in 2017.
Wow. And by
yes.
that time, that was, how big was the plot?
An eighth. Yes, you know, plots in Metropolitan.
Yes.
Nizile to standard price.
Standard price.
Anyway, we can move as I tell you this story. Yes.
What do we have here?
So here we are trying to grow worms.
Wow.
Yes. So these worms are what we feed our chicken as a source of protein. Protein in animal feeds is gotten from either soya or from ochoga and omena. And what we do is that we try and think, how can we lower the cost of production for that chicken farmer? You've seen how many chicken farmers have quit.
Yes.
Because the math is not mathing.
It's not,
And for us, we are saying insect farming can be the solution.
And
as you can see, they eat agricultural waste. So when you throw away your pills, bring them here, they enjoy. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And how is it lowering the cost of production? Just give us a picture of what that looks like.
So these worms eat almost 5 times their weight. So they are eating very quickly and transforming that waste, which will eventually become manure and the worms. Organic manure, good for us. Then the worms becomes protein. And we are talking about 44% protein. Even soya beans is at 12%. Ochoga, yes, is high, but it's not sustainable because it leads to overfishing. And we are losing so much of our marine life because we have to feed all this livestock. And you find soya bean before it comes from Malawi and Tanzania, because we don't grow that in Kenya. By the time it's arriving, you've seen the cost of beans. Kamande has just, you know, yellow bean.
What's going on?
Yes. The same with soya bean. The demand is so high, the production is so little. So you find that soya bean is being sold maybe 1 kilo per 200 shillings per kilo. Well, when we look at our cost of production for the worms, we can produce a kilo for as low as 15 shillings to 18 shillings. Yes. So one, saving your pocket. Number 2, it's good for the environment. All that food, because it's rotting, remember, ends up in a landfill. Because once you put it in the garbage, it goes into the truck. We forget. We are city people. We forget what happens to our garbage. It goes into a landfill. It's rotting. It's bringing in methane and carbon dioxide to our environment, which is bad for the planet. So this is an easy way to make sure that you're getting benefit and value from that waste as well.
Super. Let's go to the love cage then now.
So Claire, this is the love cage. This is where the mating happens of the male and the female. So once the worms are mature, we migrate them here and we get to collect the eggs. Yes. You can see our love cage is big. We have big dreams to fill all this with worms. Yes.
And I can see, what's that there?
That is where we collect the eggs. Those are called eggies. So you take an electric conduit and you cut it into small pieces because they don't lay their eggs anywhere. It has to be somewhere where it's hidden in the cracks of things. So you have to make sure you have that, and then you have some water for them to drink. You should know also BSF is very safe. It's not a pest. It doesn't have a mouth. It doesn't eat at this stage. It only eats at the stage of the worm. Which is what we harvest and feed to the chicken.
Yes, you have a background of farming, you're from Nyahururu and all that. But now when did you say, okay, this is now something that could feed me?
For me, it was a survival tactic because at that point I didn't have an income and I had a loan. So I'm not just at zero, I'm at negative.
Yeah.
And you have seen the commute.
Yeah.
I'm not living in Kitengela town.
Yes.
So getting my mbogas to Kitengela, I had to get a rider, which is an extra cost. So I just figured, let me do what my mom used to do.
Yeah.
Which is set up a kitchen garden. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
So it was a way of cutting costs for the family, but also for cutting costs of going to the market to access those needs.
Okay.
What we find in society is that people usually merge domestic role of a woman and agricultural role as one. But what they're seeing is that that woman is also saving costs for the family as a whole by having that kitchen garden, by nurturing it, by spending time there. So we need to identify that and say income generating activities are separate from domestic.
That's true. Okay.
So that's how I started. Then I realized, hey, people love fresh vegetables.
Yes.
Kitengela, as you can see, we have to use drip irrigation. It's very dry.
Yeah.
So people were just like, hey, Wangari, we've seen your farm.
Yeah.
We want fresh things because you're just near us.
Okay.
Others would come from very far, from Meru, from Western to get vegetables. By the time they're getting here, they have low nutrients. They're just looking like
tired.
Yes. So I realized there was a niche that if I irrigate, I can be able to get quick market. And I went big on indigenous vegetables, akina saga, manago.
Yes.
And then now to bring in excitement to what I was doing, because my colleagues from USIU are just like, Yani, you've decided to farm. And my mom kept telling me, no, apply some my jobs. Are you applying?
Are you still applying? Because it's not the
end goal. It looks like you're getting comfortable with this Kuma business. So that's when I started the YouTube channel, Farm on Fire, to show people, this is what I did today. This was what was exciting today. Today, the middleman came and we had a fight, you know, to just show that my life is just not just a farmer like my mom or my grandmother. I'm bringing a flavor to it.
Okay.
Yes, because people look at agriculture as dirty, old. It's for people who failed in life. It's, you know.
End result,
Yes,
everything else
it's very critical to our food systems. We actually need the farmer to do their job. So hata kama watu wameenda college and nini, you can still farm.
You got into mushroom farming.
Yes.
So just take us through what we have here. What's going on?
Yes, so these are ready farms. People who we train in our farm, we also show them the shortcut, because sometimes they want to sell the product but don't have maybe the space to start preparing. They don't want to deal with grass. They're in town. They're in a high-rise in an apartment. But we're saying don't give up. You can still become a mushroom farmer. We'll prepare everything for you, give it to you like it is. You will receive it like this. People can even buy one. And it's a ready farm. It has the seeds, it has everything.
All right.
Yes, and then your job is just to water it in the morning and it will sprout. You harvest, you keep watering, it keeps sprouting for 6 weeks.
For 6 weeks,
yes. And it's also a good idea to start the business because you just need to buy 100 bags. You go water them, find for a corner in your house. If one of my clients used a shoe rack. To set it up at the corner of the house. It won't interfere with anything you're doing. As long as there is cool aeration and humidity, they will thrive. And then her job in the morning before she goes to work, harvest, put in a pannet, take to market, and we link you to market as well.
And talk to us a little bit about that market, linking to the market. What is the market like? What's the demand like? And how do you access the market? Because sometimes you hear of farming and you want to get into farming and then you think of all the logistics and the difficulty.
It's the biggest challenge, for sure.
And then you're just like, will I really hack this? So tell us a little bit about that.
And for us, we identified that when we started 7 years ago, that was one of our major challenges. We've been trained how to grow the mushrooms, we are doing it, but now accessing the market was not straightforward. And you have to know people who love eating mushrooms, where it's sold and that. But we hold that community close to us because I was that woman who was stuck in the house doing nothing, wondering what is my purpose? How do I add value to my community, to my society? What am I doing here? And one of the ways is to help by supporting these women, to show them end to end, how do they get that money back? It's not enough that they learn how to grow the crop, but how do they see that money coming back?
Exactly.
Yes, so for us, we link them to market. We have a huge online following, Farmer on Fire. We have over 1.2 million followers who watch our brand and are listening. So we get a lot of inboxes on, Wangari, can I get 6 panels tomorrow? Can I get 8 panels? I'm a hotel, can you be bringing me every Monday? You know, like that.
Okay.
So we're able to share first our internal market, but also 3 a.m. you'll find me in the High Ridge market pushing product for myself and for my clients.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so they don't have to worry about that. Then number 2, there is the value addition, where we sun dry the mushrooms, and I'm going to show you so that we increase the shelf life and perishability doesn't become an issue. Food losses is a major issue in our country. You go find in the market every day, the kanjo is removing spoiled food. Because fresh food only lasts for 2-3 days.
Exactly.
Then it's thrown away. But then we are thinking, we have so much solar. How can we value add? How can we teach people how to preserve this? Because these skills were with us. Our grandmothers knew how to preserve skuma when it was in season, during the rainy seasons. And they would dry it and rub it and put it in the granary. So we have this knowledge and we love sharing.
Oh, awesome. And you've talked a little bit about your social media presence. I want you to talk a little bit about that as a way of accessing the market, because with social media, it's like open the market to a lot of people. So talk to people, that farmer who's just started small scale, who is trying to build their presence so that they can push themselves online. How does one go about it? Because you, Farmer on Fire, that's what we call you. We don't even call you Wangari. How does one go about it?
Social media has become a game changer, and it's not going to go away. So the person who's thinking, how will I learn this? How will I maneuver? Oh, don't worry. The oldest person in TikTok is 67 years and he's doing pretty well. He has I think 1 billion followers. So don't worry about learning. Just do it every day consistently. Don't be worried. What will people say? Don't fear. You just post na unapotea. Post na unapotea. And then before you know it, your social media has presence, has legs. And it's just as simple as sharing your journey. Today, we are harvesting. Harvest with us. So you harvest, you go take them, you pack with us. You know, and tomorrow we are like, oh, today we are offloading. Like when you came, you found our offloading our old bags. And it's just that simplified. Show people, I'm human like you. You're just like, Kenya inawapeleka aje, and you just have that conversation. Don't overthink it. Oh, I need cameras, I need experts. Just you and your phone. And then include people, make people feel like they know you. And they will also start, you know, owning back that process. So we also have a lot of trainings. Like this Saturday, we have a training where we actually now go through the process. Ni practical. Watu wakuja na gumboot and ready to make their hands dirty. Because they also need to understand how to actually grow it as much as we have the shortcut. True.
Awesome. Now I want us to see those dried mushrooms.
I'll show you. Button mushroom farming is soilless agriculture. That's why it's also very good for the environment, because you don't have to go outside to till the soil. You can produce all year round because they are grown indoors. So what we do is we take wheat straw, we compost it, then we put it in the bags, we add the seed, and as you can see the seed, you can see it. We just spawned these ones this week. Eventually the bags should turn white like they have. That's how you know that the mushroom mycelia is spreading. And then it will start pinning, and you know you're in the money. Mushroom is a high value crop. So as I harvest this, you can be counting for me the money. Yes, that one is nice and clean. You need a punnet like this one to put it, and then you cut off. Mushrooms don't have roots. So when people talk about parts of a plant, this is a fungus. Yes, so don't come with that mentality of Wangari, I want to plant 5 acres.
Yes,
you plant mushroom indoors, and they don't operate like maize and beans.
Okay.
You just need to make sure that the fungus is thriving.
All right.
And so like this one that is a bit dusty, sorry, you brush the top like that, and then you're able to place it so that it can look presentable for the market. You cut off the root, and then you continue packing. And a gram of 250 grams, a quarter, can be able to give you 250 shillings. So it's a high value crop. Before you get 250 shillings from skuma, you're in nusugunia. Yes, so you find that's why we love mushroom farming. You can be able to get your money quicker. And you're selling it to nice places that know the value of mushrooms. Mushrooms are very beneficial to our health. They actually repair our bodies at the core. Yes, so that's why we really love them, because even doctors will tell you, when you Google online, it will tell you that instead of risking and taking red meat, which the doctor will eventually tell you to stop, start your mushroom journey early, and they are cholesterol free. So if you're trying to manage your weight, this is a good way. And they help with regenerative diseases, diabetes, high blood pressure, and just people who want just a good lifestyle. They are also the only plant in the world that can be able to absorb vitamin D from the sun. So you don't need supplements of vitamin D if you're eating mushrooms. You just put them in the sun, they absorb the heat. And now this punnet, this is already very heavy, I can tell through experience. So this is around 350 grams. So, and this will get you around 600 shillings. Yes, and you can go and confirm in Naivas. Mostly
I know.
It's out of stock.
Know.
Because the demand is too high than the production. As you can see at the houses that we're doing there, we're also going to add AC unit, just like the one in Mombasa for cooling your room, because we want those temperatures to remain very, very low. Yes, so we also offer ready bags like these ones for people who want to start the farming without figuring out the manure, the smelly part, the labor intensive part. We just make sure we come, set it up in your farm, and you start harvesting. Yes.
Super good. Now,
so we go fry some?
Yes.
Sawa.
Let's have some.
Okay.
To watch this story and more, download the Citizen Digital app today.
Kenya's #1 app, Citizen Digital.